Welcome back to Fickle Sports and welcome back to another score predictions video. It's me versus Gary. We're going head to head. We're hashing it out to see who is better at predicting Premier League results. So we're going to be going over the results from the previous game week as well as going through our new score predictions for game week 3.
And if you remember, we are tallying up these scores because at the end of the month, there's going to be a payoff to pay for. And K-Town in the comments said one of the potential punishments is a dress up. I don't know what dress up he's suggesting. Hopefully it is not the sex change type of one. But let's get into
Gary will be an advantage there as Gabriel, as he likes to be called, of a weekend.
Gabby.
he already has that wardrobe lined up and ready to rock.
Your name is Lexi, I assume, if you were going with your alter ego.
You mean you assume?
Let's get into the scores. Up on the screen is our score predictions, and you can see I edged out as the winner this week. It was 5-4 the previous week, so I was down 1. And thankfully, I came in at clutch with that Leicester prediction against Burnley.
You know what? You are a lucky bastard. One, he hasn't got one correct score yet. He's only got a correct results. Secondly, I was 30 seconds away from getting the correct score for Man City. But they had to score in the last minute, didn't they? It was a nothing goal.
I was so happy for that goal. I was like, ooh, that saved me. That saved me. So it's tied now. 10 apiece. 10 all. We got 10 out of 18 correct scores. We can't quite open our own betting shop, but we're doing better than half of the fixtures. So, how are you feeling?
I feel like there's one game week left, and this will be our first forfeit if whoever wins this one. So, I'm a little bit nervous now. Nerves are creeping in. So, score predictions. Game week 3. We are a go. First game up is Brighton versus Manchester United. This game is happening at the Amex Stadium, and it is at 12:30. On the 26th of September. Now, Brighton, I think it's fair to say Brighton actually played very well against Chelsea. I don't think they deserved the 3-1 loss. And some teams can be disheartened with that, but Brighton came back in the right way. They performed well again against Newcastle, but this time they got the result with 3-0. So I think things are looking up for Brighton.
Yeah, and what a star they have in Tariq Lamptey. He, again, second game in a row, started terrorizing the defence. Look how rapid he is as well.
What a signing.
Man United, they looked really off the pace. I know it's a bit of a disadvantage to not play your first game and they were up against it. But the most worrying thing is for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Roy Hodgson came there, set up a tactic, and Ole absolutely had no answer for it. And they didn't get going until basically the 80th minute where they scored the goal. But they then got overturned. Crystal Palace they had 4 athletic players who counter-attacked against Man United and just caused them trouble non-stop. So, worrying times to lose your first game.
What is your score prediction?
I think Man United will respond. I think they'll have the rhythm from playing their game and they'll be more up to speed. And they'll be desperate to make amends for that loss. I think they'll come with a lot of desire. And I think Man United will win this 2-1.
You know what, right? I'm starting to factor in teams that I've disrespected by constantly saying they'll get little or no points. So I'm starting to say, I'm sorry, I will listen to you guys more. Brighton, they're one of those teams. So I'm going 2-1 Brighton.
Ooh, it's very bold. I mean, it's possible with the way both of these teams are playing. I just think there'll be a response from Man United. Next up is Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, Saturday, 3 o'clock versus Everton. Crystal Palace are in dream world right now. First time they've won 2 of their opening Premier League games and 2 very impressive performances. Say what you want about Roy Hodgson. Very experienced manager, knows his stuff, gets his team very well organised and set up perfectly, tactically, against Man United and Southampton, and really taking advantage of mistakes. And Zaha, what a performance he put in against Man United. Did you see that thing about Patrice Evra
Yeah, I saw what he said.
I love it. I know they had to come out and say, we don't believe. But that's what everyone wants. That's what everyone wants.
Well, they come up against a very tough nut in Everton, as Everton are also. That nut had nothing to do with Moyes Bazaar, by the way.
You're getting us.
They also have a 100% record and 5-2 in their last game. I mean, the thing is, they went down, and I was thinking, "Oh, are they going to turn a bit shaky here?" And they just went through the gears. It was incredible, and that's off the back with all their signings who look like they've been there for a few years. Things are looking really up for Everton, and I think this will be a really difficult game for both teams.
Score predictions. Whoa, this is a tough one. This is a tough one to predict, but what are you going for?
So Palace are also on my shit list because I've disrespected them by saying they would have no points by this point. So I'm trying to make amends, and I'm going 2-2.
Make amends, but he's going 2-2.
It's a point. It's better than what I've done before.
I'm on Crystal Palace's side. They'll do the treble. I'm going 2-1 Crystal Palace. I'm on Zaha's side. Deny all rumours, but keep scoring those goals. Yeah, I'm going for it. Ooh, it's gonna be tough, but it's gonna be Crystal Palace's day. Next up is West Bromwich Albion versus Chelsea, Saturday 5:30 at the Hawthorns. Yeah, it's a tough first two games for West Brom. Gibbs, former Gooner, very experienced Premier League defender. What are you doing? You can't put your hands on someone's face. I know James Rodriguez was a bit naughty there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's always, you know what's going to happen if you do it. You just can't do it.
And Slaven Bilic absolutely imploding on the touchline on Mike Dean. Fair enough, Mike Dean deserves it. He deserves it for all his transgressions. Like, he definitely deserves it.
Have you noticed it's always Mike Dean? It's always Mike Dean, isn't it? Chelsea, on the other hand, Chelsea fans, I think, might be a little bit disheartened at the moment. They played against Brighton. I don't think they played particularly well against Brighton. But against Liverpool, certainly in the first half, I think they actually played quite well. Until Christensen forgot he was playing football and thought he was playing rugby and decided to do one of the silliest tackles I've seen.
I've done that tackle before, but I was just as desperate as Christensen when I was in that position.
It looks bad. It looks bad.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea are having a bit of a tough-ish time with so many changes to their starting lineup, and they're just getting used to it. It can take time for a team to gel, regardless of how much quality they have bought. They still need to gel. So I think Chelsea will be looking at this game with West Brom as conceding 4 goals a game, and hopefully being able to try a few things out and trying to get some of that team working together very soon.
Also, you see Pereira has 1 goal and 1 assist now. Listeners, you may not remember, but I said if Pereira gets 10 goals and 10 assists, Alex will have to eat my own shoes. So, watch this space. Just 9 goals, 9 assists left.
Shit, I don't remember that, but sounds like something I would say.
Gotta keep you on to that. I'm not letting that go.
You can have it. Let's get on to the predictions. I am going, drum roll please, 5-1 Chelsea.
Oh my God. What?
I've gone big. 5-1.
Kepa to score all of them, because that's how likely that's.
No, Kepa own goal.
Wow.
No, 5-1 Chelsea.
Okay. I mean, I haven't gone that bold, but I think Chelsea will make a statement again, try and get points back on the board, and I'm going 3-1. I think they've just got too much quality from a West Brom team who, if they don't get things under control, can start spiraling out, and they would be dead last in the Premier League quite quickly.
So that takes us to our last game of Saturday, and it is Burnley versus Southampton. It's happening at Turf Moor at 8 p.m. Now, Burnley missed the first game week because of their game was postponed because Manchester United had an extended run in Europa League, and they kicked off their season with a 4-2 loss to Leicester. Now, we all know Sean Dyche likes a clean sheet as much as any man. I'm pretty sure there's a few people who would have got a few digs in the changing room after that game. 4 goals.
Personally handing out digs, yeah.
Just as they're walking into the dressing room, he's gut punching them one at a time. Like, So not the start Burnley have wanted. I think I don't think it's something that they're going to do a lot of this season. I do think it's something that Dyche really does work hard on to not concede goals. But yeah, I think he'd be quite upset with that start.
Southampton. You know, as much as I want to credit Tottenham for playing well, you just look separately at all those goals, and you're looking at the Southampton defenders like, what are you doing? No pressure on Kane. Just let Son and Kane walk through. You can't really call it a back line. It was a back circle trying to make its way back. And it kind of looks like, you know, when you play FIFA and you have two players on the same team and both of you rush out of defense and you just leave your whole defense completely open. That's what it kind of looked like. So I'm worried for Southampton.
I think Southampton will be disappointed because they played well they played really well in the first half, and I think Mourinho changed it at half time. Had some coming through the middle, and they just didn't adapt to it at all.
Yeah.
But I would say on the bright side for them, playing Burnley, they probably won't have many people playing in behind. I don't know who I'm disrespecting there, but
you saying Chris Wood doesn't have the frightening pace of
saying if Chris Wood would run in behind. Anyway, prediction times. Gary, what you got?
I'm going for a boring 1-1. I think Southampton will have a response, but it might be quite a frustrating game for them to sort of break down Burnley. And Sean Dyche, like you said, if they recover from all those digs that he gave his players, they'll probably have a better defensive performance. And yeah, I'm going for a 1-1.
I'd love to see that. Just one of their players out, gut punch,
bruising on the stomach.
I'm going to take your 1-1 and I'm going to raise your boringness to a 0-0.
Oh my god!
I think Burnley will be after that clean sheet. I think their priority will be not to concede goals, and I think it just might end up being one of those games where they end up just cancelling each other out.
So you're saying the man, the myth, the legend, Danny Ings is going to blank this game week?
I am. Second game of Sunday is Tottenham versus Newcastle. It's happening at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at 2 p.m. Now, if the game at Southampton, where Tottenham played, had ended at half time, I would have been so pessimistic and down at this point in time, because that was a whole 1.5 games where Tottenham played really badly, and then all of a sudden, I think a few changes from Mourinho and everything just clicked. Went through the gears, and Southampton couldn't handle it. Is one way of putting it, but
they decided not to handle it. It looked like
Kane and Son, their chemistry and their quality came through, and they ended up winning 5-2, which is quite incredible, especially when you consider how well Southampton have played in the first half and how badly Tottenham have played. So Tottenham, we hoping they can carry on that second half form into the Newcastle game.
Yeah, that game, it really looked like there was a game of FIFA and Harry Kane, you're just pressing triangle through ball and it just came up trumps every single time to Son, who's, you know, is amazing finishes. Newcastle, wow, okay, yeah, you had a very impressive first game and then you came up with a stinker against Brighton. That's why I said at the beginning of the season preview, you can't get excited about Newcastle just yet. I want Newcastle to do well. They've done like smart signings, but that's why I say just hold on, wait, get these players in, Callum Wilson, Andy Carroll, Ryan Fraser, give them games. Hopefully they'll build chemistry and they won't create performances like that against Brighton.
What's your predictions for this game?
Say, I don't know, man. This is a tough one. If you wipe off the second game, I think they will have a bit.
Okay. If you wipe off the second game, yeah, I bet Newcastle fans wish they could.
If you wipe off that second game, I think Newcastle will have a response, but I think maybe the Tottenham are firing on cylinders that they know they can fire on, and I think Tottenham are going to win this 3-2. But it's going to be a high-scoring game because I just don't trust any of the defenses, none of them.
Yeah, to be honest with you, you kind of echo a lot of what I think. So I'm not going to bore you and repeat it. I'm just going to go out with the 4-2 prediction to Tottenham that I am having.
Next up is Man City versus Leicester City at the Etihad on Sunday, 4:30. And Man City, they had a very good opener to the season. Beating Wolves away is always a good achievement. The way they did it was very controlled.
Wolves did a double over them.
They did do a double of them last season. That's why I think Man City are back with probably with a lot of motivation. Kevin De Bruyne looks bright. Sterling as well. They're out with Aguero, but it doesn't seem to affect them so much at the moment. And they nullified Wolves quite well. They held the ball for long periods against Wolves. So,
for Leicester City, I think you could actually not as controlled because they still conceded a few goals, but they're still playing really well and they're scoring a lot of goals. So, the more goals you score, the less important it is, the more goals you concede, as long as you're scoring more than you're conceding. The Burnley result really impressed me.
Yeah.
Burnley is a really difficult place to go and score a lot of goals. I know every now and again it does happen, but for a team that, is always in and around, say, the middle or the lower end of the table, they don't like being beaten as well as they were beaten against Leicester. So I think they can take pride in that win as well as the first one of the season. So I think things are looking up for Leicester City and they're not going to be any pushovers here.
Score predictions. What are you thinking for this game? This is a tough one to judge, I think.
I said they're not going to be any pushovers. And I think they will put up a fight. And I think it's going to be one of those games where it'll be quite close. And then towards the end, the team with a better quality will just get in with a few of those late goals. And I think the team that's going to do that is Manchester City. They do have an absurd amount of quality, and I think in the end that will be the difference. But I do think it will be close up until about the 70th minute. So I'm going 3-1 Man City.
I'm going a bit closer than that. I'm going Man City 2-1. I actually think Leicester will score the first goal and then you'll get a response by Man City and they'll make a comeback. Leicester, I just don't think they can hold out that Man City attack for the whole game. That's just my concern. Man City look in rhythm. Next up is West Ham versus Wolves, Sunday late kickoff at 7 o'clock at the London Stadium. West Ham, they had a very good performance against Arsenal. They went to a back five, really frustrated Arsenal, and were really unlucky probably not to get even a win against Arsenal. They hit the post, tried capitalising on a lot of Arsenal's mistakes. So they were quite unlucky in the end.
Wolves they weren't great against Manchester City, and they might have built up an expectation that maybe they should be the team to do well against City after beating them twice last season.
Though. They did look dangerous.
They did. I think it was just a case of when Manchester City are on it, I think no one really beats Manchester City. And I think Wolves come up against a Manchester City side who are very much on form, which doesn't always happen first game of the season. So I think they're unfortunate. But I do agree with what you're saying. They still created chances. I wouldn't be disheartened by that performance. And their first game against Sheffield United was even better. So performance-wise, things are looking good for them. And this could be a game which spells trouble for West Ham.
Okay, so score predictions. I get the sense you're leaning towards Wolves, which this Tottenham fan is, as usual, doing the disservice to West Ham fans.
In my defence, I don't think I've been wrong yet with West Ham. Actually, no, I was wrong once. I said they'll draw and they lost. Oh. So prove me wrong, But I am going 2-0 Wolves. As you said, they created chances against Sheffield United. Although, funny enough, I think they've struggled more against Sheffield United to create chances than Manchester City. And I think if they can create chances against them too, they'll probably be able to do it against the underperforming West Ham. I'm
going 1-1. I changed my mind in the last second. I'm going 1-1. I think West Ham. I think they're going to build upon their latest performance against Arsenal. I think David Moyes got them in a better place, and they just switched off against Arsenal. And if they come with a more disciplined performance, they'll get a result out of this game.
So we move on to Monday Night Football, which Sky Sports like to make a big deal of. First game up on Monday night is at 6 p.m. and it is at Fulham versus Aston Villa at Craven Cottage. If you're not sure, it's the only stadium with a statue of Michael Jackson outside. Just a little reminder of that bakedness. So Fulham at the moment, they're still looking to put points on the board. They played quite well against Leeds, I think. They were outscored in the end though, so they are still without any points. I think they'll be looking against Aston Villa to put in another performance where they can create chances and score goals, and this time maybe try and tighten up the defence a little bit and try and get those first elusive points on the board.
Aston Villa came out 1-0 victors against Sheffield United. It was a good performance, and it hurts me. It hurts me to see Martinez do so well. I mean, I love that. I love that boy so much. Penalty save. What a save. Man of the match. You know, take care of him. Please take care of him because I love him, and sell him back to us for 5 million. Points on the board. Properly happy with that. Aston Villa, last season you guys came too close to the relegation, so it'll be performances like that. No matter how you get them, get as many as those as possible and continue to look forwards.
What's your prediction for this one then?
I'm going Aston Villa 3-1. I'm going Aston Villa 3-1.
Whoa.
I know. It's just because Fulham concede at an alarming rate, and they allow so many people just to go into their box unabated, unchallenged, take shots at their goal. So I think this could be a field day for Jack Grealish. Oh yeah, and I think they're beefed up a bit by the lovely Martinez in goal.
See, I think the defence is the one thing they'll be working on, and I think their attack has shown really good signs over the last few games, and that's why I'm going with a 1-1.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen enough in Fulham's two performances. When I've watched them play, I've seen enough. I think they have enough to kind of stay up and to get points. So I think it's only a matter of time before they do that. Say, unlike, sorry to be a little bit harsh, but West Brom, they look dire at the moment. Fulham, on the other hand, they've been, well, maybe not against Arsenal, but certainly against Leeds, I think they played quite well.
Have you seen an ongoing trend, listeners? Alex just wants Tottenham to win and everyone to draw 0-0 or 1-1 and make us suffer. Doesn't want exciting football. He's the big Sam of score predictions.
Well, you're the Mike Dean because everyone fucking hates you. And let me tell you why. I had Tottenham down to draw against Southampton. So your theory folds along with your stupid fucking career.
That doesn't even make any sense. But
I don't know.
Okay. I love it though.
Next up is the last game of the game week, and it is our game of the week. It is Liverpool versus Arsenal. It's happening at Monday night at 8:15, and we are giving you no predictions and nothing at all. It is all going to be in our game of the week, which we are releasing on Friday. So head over there now to see that full in-depth analysis and score predictions.
So that is all for this game week. We've got our score predictions in the comments. Put your score predictions in. It's 10 apiece between me and Alex, so really neck and neck at the moment. In a couple game weeks, we'll have to do that punishment. Thanks. See you next week.
See you later.